Zottman curl in an incline is pretty straightforward. I curl up, I twist my palm to try and face the ground as much as I can. You can see I have a little limitation there in terms of mobility, and then I go back down nice and slow. Some of the things I like to think about here are, from this dead bottom position, I'm asking a lot of my bicep to basically overcome, no cheating, my elbow's totally blocked, overcoming that initial angle, and it's gonna get fairly easy towards the top. But I sneak in some great benefit as I go back down, because as I twist, I'm gonna tug on those extensors a little bit. This is gonna turn off my bicep, get a little bit more exclusive to the brachialis as I then negative my way back down. At the very, very bottom, I like to think of actually reaching my hand out and trying to stretch everything I can. If you are very tight in these positions, you're gonna notice a couple of things. First, you might be incredibly weak on the way down. You go, whoa, I feel like I have no anchor because I'm relying on, these are the stronger tissues generally for most people. These are gonna be a little bit weaker. So you'll notice that. Second part of that is, if they're weak, there's a pretty good chance they're gonna be tight as well. And so as I stretch and I force my hand to get all the way flat with a little bit of outside load, I'm getting some additional stretch that I maybe don't normally get. You might be able to see here that my hand is also offset. This is something I like to do because it facilitates more of a stretch. This would be me right here in the middle, the other side. And so it's not a ton of space, but it's gonna basically allow more leverage on that other side as I go down and facilitate more stretch. I have fairly poor mobility here, still working on it, but you'll notice that people who are often very flexible through here are also very weak through here, typically. And so what this does is it gives us a good balancing effect. So if I am somewhat strong through here, this gives me a stretch to basically open up those tissues, and if I'm not that strong, it gives me a stimulus so that I can get some strength through there. If you don't have an incline bench, this is totally fine. You can go out in front of you. You won't get some of the elements, which is that long stretched mechanic, but that is a nice to have, not a need to have for our purposes. You're still gonna get tension across that back of the forearm. You're still gonna get all of those benefits through the elbow by changing the position of your hand. In general, I would say go lighter than you think you need to, because even just doing maybe half a dozen curls or so, my elbows are pretty lit up because I'm not really thinking about my bicep in this movement as much as I am all of the tissues that connect and move my elbow. And so in training this, the bicep pump I would normally go for is not really the key. And so where I might normally train this at 25s, I've got a 12 here, and this is giving me a pretty darn good stimulus. So start lighter than you think you need to in order to get those gains where we're searching for them most.